Ever been so exhausted you could practically taste the grime? Imagine a world without Uber Eats, without even a flickering neon sign to guide you home. Picture this. You're soaked, freezing, your stomach's growling a symphony only a starving wolf could appreciate. You've just dodged a runaway cart loaded with turnips naturally, and the smell of the city is, well, let's just say it's an experience. Think horse manure, wood smoke, and something vaguely resembling soup, but probably isn't. It's medieval times, folks. No GPS, no Yelp, just pure, unadulterated grit. So you need a drink, a serious drink. The kind that melts away the day's exhaustion and makes you forget about those darn turnips. But how do you find a tavern? Well, forget fancy signs. Forget glowing apps. In the Middle Ages, you listen. You let your ears be your guide. It's a bit like that time you were hunting for the best pizza place in your city. Except instead of scrolling, you're relying on the sounds of revelry to lead you through the labyrinthine, muddy streets. Follow the noise, past the clang of the blacksmith's hammer, past the fishmonger's surprisingly enthusiastic sales pitch about his fresh-caught river eels. You're not entirely convinced. You hear it, a cacophony of laughter, shouting, and, strangely enough, someone belting out a ballad about a goose. That, my friends, is the siren song of a medieval tavern. It's a chaotic symphony of human life, a blend of joy, danger, and probably a little bit of questionable hygiene all crammed under one leaky thatched roof. Think of it as a medieval karaoke bar meets a slightly dodgy newsroom, with a hearty helping of questionable ale thrown in for good measure. It's the epicenter of town gossip, the only place where a knight, a farmer, and a wandering minstrel could all end up equally tipsy and equally likely to get their purses lifted. That's the magic, the raw energy, the heart of the medieval world. And it all starts with the sound of a very enthusiastic goose song. So, settle in, grab a drink, real or imaginary, and let's dive in. So you're finally here. Picture this. A building that looks like it's doing a drunken sway, leaning like a tipsy uncle at a family reunion. The sign above the door? Let's just say it's a Rorschach test of rustic artistry. Is that a bear wrestling a barrel, or a barrel wearing a bear hat? Who knows? But that, my friend, is the entrance to adventure. The step outside is a bit slippery. Let's just say it's been generously lubricated with the finest fermented beverages. The door groans open, a sound like a long, theatrical sigh, a rusty opera singer warming up, and then wham! A wave of smells hits you. Imagine the warmest hug from a smoky fireplace, mixed with the earthy scent of damp wool, a hint of something vaguely resembling beer, and, well, let's just call it mystery meat. You're home. This isn't your fancy city tavern, no sir. The ceiling's so low, even basketball players will be bowing their heads. The floor? Dirt. Actual dirt. They've tried to disguise it with straw, like putting a band-aid on a broken leg. It doesn't work. Forget hushed whispers and personal booths. This place is pure, unadulterated medieval mayhem. It's either a roaring party or closed for fire safety. Your choice. You find a spot, a wobbly bench near the fire, slightly damp in a way you don't really want to know about. The scene unfolds like a chaotic masterpiece. A debate erupts about a missing chicken. A guy sleeps soundly with a ladle clutched in his hand, and a one-eyed dog, looking like he owns the place, gnaws on a bone. And this, my friend, is just the appetizer. The main course? That's the whole tavern. Buckle up. So you're in. The door slams, boom, and suddenly you're swallowed whole. It's dark, like someone threw a wool blanket soaked in midnight over your head. Warm, yeah, But in that clammy, is this a fever dream? Kind of way. Your eyes blink, trying to make sense of flickering candlelight. The shadows, the shadows are alive. They dance on the walls, making even the chairs look like they're plotting something. A fire roars in the corner, cozy, yes, but also a fire hazard waiting to happen. Smoke hangs heavy, like a lazy dragon exhaling its last breath. Smells interesting. Forget flowery perfumes. This isn't a spa. This is a tavern. The air hits you like a punch. It's ale, strong and sour, coating everything in a sticky film. Under that, sweat. Human sweat, horse sweat, and maybe even something a little more legendary. Mix that with the scent of day-old bread gone bad, damp straw, and a whiff of boiled onions so strong it could make a dragon cry. It's a smell you can't bottle. No perfumer would dare. The tables? They've seen things. Carved initials, terrible drawings, knife scars. A whole history etched into the wood. They wobble, but they're survivors. The benches groan under the weight of everyone, muddy boots, heavy cloaks, and enough questionable life choices to fill a library. The floor? Dirt. Underneath a layer of straw meant to soak up, well, everything. Spills, spit. You get the picture. You walk carefully. One wrong step and let's just say you'll be wishing you'd stayed home. Buckle up. So, buckle up because this is something else. Imagine a giant, chaotic beehive, but instead of honey, it's overflowing with boisterous laughter, arguments about the price of livestock. Seriously, pigs are a big deal here, and the clanging of mugs that seem to have a life of their own, judging by how often they take dramatic dives onto the wooden floor. People are everywhere, a swirling mix of intense stares, the kind that make you wonder if they're plotting your demise or just forgot what gravity is, and sudden, collective flinches like a human-sized seismograph reacting to the smallest sneeze. It's sensory overload, a medieval mosh pit of humanity, but somehow, it's strangely comforting. Think of it like this, a beautifully messy masterpiece. The furniture, forget any sense of order. It's like a furniture store exploded after a particularly wild earthquake. Tables are crammed together, benches are scattered like fallen dominoes, and barrels are everywhere, often doubling as seats. Some folks are practically sitting on each other, others are lost in a sea of empty space. It's all relative, really, especially after a few tankards. The only constant, the heart of this wild beast, is the enormous fireplace, a roaring inferno, spitting sparks and smoke like a dragon's breath. It's a magnet drawing people in like moths to a flame, or maybe more accurately, like thirsty moths to a giant, fiery mug warmer. They huddle around it, sharing stories, secrets, and probably a few germs. My seat? Let's just say it's rustic, damp, possibly cursed. But hey, it's mine for the moment. And in this chaotic symphony of medieval mayhem, that's all that really matters, right? For now. So yeah, picture this. The warmest spots, snagged by the regulars, the VIPs of the joint. The rest of us? Well, let's just say ale's a pretty effective heating pad, right? The bar, if you can even call it that, is basically a thick plank of wood perched precariously on top of a couple of barrels. It's groaning under the weight of all the mugs, jugs, and elbows. Behind it's this guy, the tavern keeper, a one-man whirlwind. He's pouring drinks, barking orders, and giving this one poor soul in the corner the stink eye, the I'm still waiting for Tuesday's tab glare. No menus, forget about it. You ask what they've got and hold your breath. It's usually ale, or find another tavern. There's this rickety old staircase, probably older than your grandpa, leading upstairs. And if you look closely, you'll see a boot hanging from the railing. Nobody knows if it's decoration or a warning. Some taverns even have a back room. Could be storage, could be a secret gambling den, or, well, let's just say the last guy who insulted the barmaid hasn't been seen since. Best not to ask. The walls? Soot-stained like 1,000 candles have died there. The windows? Covered in greasy rags or animal skins. Everything's polished smooth by years of elbows, boots, and spilled drinks, and maybe a chicken. I swear I saw a chicken once. It's utter chaos, absolute pandemonium, but somehow it works. Everyone knows the drill. Where to sit, when to yell, when to hit the deck. It's not planned, not organized, but it's got this crazy, vibrant energy. And yeah, every medieval tavern, it has a king, or queen, or maybe just a really scary barkeep. So, it's not some fancy king or taxman calling the shots, right? Nope, it's the tavern owner. Think about it, this person is the ultimate power player in this whole medieval world. They're not wearing a crown, but they're the real ruler of that place. They're the cook, the waiter, the bookkeeper. Imagine juggling all those jobs at once. And let's not forget, they're the ultimate babysitter, keeping the rowdy crowd in line. And yeah, sometimes they're even the judge, jury, and executioner of barroom brawls. One person, a whole institution. Now picture this. If it's a guy, he's probably built like a brick outhouse, all rugged and weathered. Think grizzly bear meets grumpy grandpa. He's seen it all, done it all, and probably regrets most of it. But if it's a woman, and believe me, it often is, she's a force of nature. She could cut you down with a single glare, sharper than any sword. These people are legends. They've seen more blood spilled than a butcher shop, and they've cleaned it up before breakfast. They know everyone, every secret. Regulars get a nod, newcomers get the side eye, and troublemakers? Well, let's just say they get a swift and often painful lesson in tavern etiquette. This isn't some fancy spreadsheet. They keep track of everything in their head. Who owes what, who's had one too many, who's secretly in love with the blacksmith. Seriously, their memory is scarier than any dungeon. It's like a walking, talking database of gossip and grudges. The tavern keeper sets the mood. Happy owner? The whole place is buzzing with laughter and good cheer. Grumpy owner? Everyone's sipping their drinks in terrified silence, hoping to avoid becoming the next target of their wrath. They're the referee, the judge, the bouncer, all rolled into one. They settle every argument, expose every cheat, and are the first ones to grab a weapon when things get out of hand. You absolutely, positively do not want to cross them, because they know everything. Who's broke? Who's cheating on their spouse? Who's hiding their true identity? The tavern keeper knows, and that, my friend, is true power. So, you finally found a seat, phew, dodging elbows and near misses with a bowl of something vaguely stew-like. Your throat's drier than the Sahara, your boots are swampier than a Louisiana bayou, and you're ready for a drink. Forget fancy menus. This ain't no five-star joint. We're talking medieval tavern, my friend. Think survival of the fittest, but with less running and more, well, drinking. Need info? Bribe the bartender. Seriously, it's the currency here. Need muscle? Sit close to the big guys. Need a small favor? Hope you haven't accidentally smashed any mugs lately. See that guy hauling barrels twice his size? Yeah, he's not exactly volunteering. He's probably paying off a debt with backbreaking labor. These guys, they're the tavern's unsung heroes. The ones keeping the whole chaotic place humming. They're the grease in the gears, the glue holding this crazy ecosystem together. And at the heart of it all, the tavern keeper. Picture this: a whirlwind of activity, a master conductor of chaos wearing an apron, keeping the ale flowing and preventing a full-blown riot. They're the eye of the hurricane, the calm in the storm, the one person who somehow manages to keep this whole crazy place from imploding. Now, about that drink. Forget fancy wine lists. Your choices are limited. Let's start with the ale. Think murky swamp water with a hint of something. Unfiltered, unpasteurized, probably brewed in a room where the dog sleeps. Yeah, you read that right. It's thick, it's cloudy, and there's a good chance you'll find a surprise floating in it. A grain of barley, a bit of yeast, maybe a piece of the last guy's mustache. Who knows? And don't even think about asking how long it's been sitting. Just drink it and hope for the best. Then there's the mead. Sounds fancy, right? Honey wine. But let's be real. It's sweet, it's potent, and it could potentially explode in your mouth. If the keeper brewed it, it might be amazing. Or it might taste like a bee stung your tongue and then whispered regrets into your ear. So, cheers to adventure. This is the real deal, folks. This is life in a medieval tavern. And that, my friend, is true power. So, you've survived the drink, huh? Barely. Let's be honest. That ale was more rustic charm than refined beverage. Imagine the fanciest champagne you've ever tasted. Now picture its polar opposite. That's what we're talking about. Think muddy water with a hint of fermented fruit and a whole lot of, what the heck is this? The good stuff? That was for the king, the bishop, maybe that guy who cornered the market on salt. We got what was left, or what fell on the ground 3 weeks ago. Seriously, apples? Maybe, probably not. The cider was an experience. Tangy? Yeah, like a grumpy badger. Sharp? Like a poorly sharpened axe. And the mugs? Let's just say they've seen better days. And better hygiene. They might even still have last night's stew clinging to the bottom. You take a sniff, a potent aroma of something vaguely alcoholic and definitely questionable. A sip, and the warmth hits you, a bitter embrace. It's not delicious, not exactly, but it's safe. Mostly. It's wet, it's not immediately poisonous, and that's a win in this neck of the woods. Forget fancy cocktails or measured shots. Here, you're lucky if your mug doesn't leak. And speaking of lucky, you're probably starving. Sunrise feels like a lifetime ago, and that barley breakfast? Let's just say it didn't exactly fill the void. Barley and sadness. That's the special. But hey, you're alive. And that, my friend, is true power. So yeah, dinner time. Forget fancy restaurants. No menus, no servers whispering about specials. Think a medieval pub. You walk in and it's an adventure. What's on the table? That's your menu. You hope for something warm, something edible. The star of the show? Pottage. It's this thick stew like a culinary mystery novel. It's been bubbling away for days, maybe since Monday. They just keep adding stuff, whatever scraps they find. Think of it as a stew that's constantly evolving, a living, breathing thing. Meat? A luxury. Maybe rabbit, pigeon, or some poor chicken that got a little too close to the fire. If it's game, you're playing a gamble. Could be amazing, or, well, let's just say it's seen better days. Your plate? A wooden bowl, maybe clay. Cutlery? Bring your own knife, my friend. This is BYOB, but BYOK. Bring your own knife. Forks? Nah. Fingers are perfectly acceptable. And napkins? Forget it. Your sleeve's your best friend. Or maybe a shared rag that's witnessed more than it cares to remember. Bread? Oh, there's bread. Think dense, dark, like a rock. It's more weapon than food, really. Soft bread? Baked today. Rock hard? Last week's special. Pairs well with the cheese, though. This stuff, it's got its own aroma, let's just say that. Smells like an old boot, maybe even has a personality of its own. And then there's the extras, maybe some salty fish, maybe pickled eggs. It's a culinary roller coaster, my friend. And that, my friend, is true power. The power of surviving on whatever you can find. So, yeah, the power of surviving on whatever you can find. It's a real thing. I mean, picture this, you stumble into this dive, right? It's called a tavern, but let's be honest, Mystery Meat Emporium would be more accurate. They're serving up specials, which is code for we're clearing out the fridge. The food? Let's just say it's an experience. Think rustic. Think adventurous. Think, what's that weird stringy bit? But you know what? In that flickering candlelight with the clatter and chatter bouncing off the stone walls, it's actually kind of amazing. It's warm. It fills you up. And if you don't analyze it too closely, it might even taste good. You're not here for Michelin stars, you're here to fuel up, to keep going. Find a seat, one without a suspicious amount of dried blood, preferably, and settle in. This place, it's the original social network before algorithms and filters. Pure, unadulterated human chaos. To your left, some farmer's bellowing about his cow's unusual birthing position. For the fourth time tonight, I swear. He's already decided you're his new best friend. Across the room, a shadowy figure lurks, nursing a drink like it holds the secrets of the universe. Monk? Bandit? Professional wallflower? You decide. Just don't make eye contact unless you're ready for a mysterious disappearance. And by the fireplace, a soldier spinning tales of dragons, Frenchmen, and a sword with a surprisingly sassy personality. It's obviously a load of baloney, but everyone's loving it. That's the beauty of it, you know? It's all about connection, even in the most unlikely of places, over a bowl of, well, let's not dwell on the bowl. The point is, you're alive, you're fed, and you're surrounded by stories. That's a pretty good night, wouldn't you say? So yeah, the night's going great, right? But check this out, the place is buzzing. This isn't some quiet, stuffy inn. It's a total explosion of life. Imagine a whirlwind of activity. A merchant, sweat dripping like a leaky tap, practically throwing gold coins around while shouting about grain nobody wants. It's like he's daring someone to rob him. Then there's this dice game, two guys locked in this intense stare down. One's clearly cheating, blatant as can be, and the other guy, he knows. He just lets it slide. Saving the brawl for later, I guess, when the ale runs dry. And the music, this bard, bless his heart, he's warbling a love song that sounds like he just made it up 5 minutes ago. His voice cracks on the high notes, but who cares? The guy's wearing pants and he's mostly in tune. That's a huge upgrade from last night's guy who sounded like a strangled cat. The women here, wow, they're amazing. Some are tavern staff sharp as tacks, others, well, let's just say they're running their own little shows. They're all incredibly confident. You can tell 1 minute they're flirting, the next they're laughing, and if you cross them, they'll knock your teeth in. It's all part of the charm. And the kids, they're like little ninjas, weaving through the crowd, snatching scraps of bread or any stray coins. Nobody even bats an eye. It's just normal. It's all part of the crazy energy. Everyone's watching, drinking, scheming, pretending not to notice the poor guy passed out under the table. This isn't just a tavern. It's a whole show, a non-stop performance. And tonight, you're in the front row, and maybe even on stage. Forget those epic battle songs and treasure hunts for a second. The real music here, it's not a single song. It's a symphony of pure, unadulterated chaos. It starts with the clinking of mugs, dozens of them, crashing together in a wave of sound. A toast? A deal sealed? Or just a drunken accident? You can't tell, and that's the beauty of it all. It's a wild, crazy, beautiful mess, and you're right in the middle of it. It's pure chaos, beautiful chaos. Imagine a party, but a medieval tavern party, overflowing with more personality than a Shakespearean play. Clink, smash, a toast to broken pottery and boisterous joy, all mixed together. The laughter, forget polite giggles. This is the kind of laughter that shakes the very foundations of the building, the kind that comes from the belly, raw and untamed, like a wild boar escaping its pen. It makes absolutely no sense, and that's the best part. A farmer's cracking a joke about hay. I'm not even sure what's funny, but everyone's howling. A knight finds the word pottage hilarious. A monk? Don't even mention duck. You'll trigger an uncontrollable fit of wheezing. Trust me on this one. The voices are a symphony of shouting, a cacophony of conversation. It's like a bunch of roosters in a cage, each one trying to outcrow the others. Arguments erupt, stories are traded like precious jewels. Complaints about taxes fly through the air, and someone's actually misquoting scripture to win a bet. The bartender's yelling orders, swatting flies with the other hand. A barmaid is giving someone a piece of her mind for trying to grab her. And then there's this constant chant, another round, another round. It's the party's battle cry. In the corner, a bard with a lute that sounds like it's been through a war, 3 strings missing, badly tuned, plays the same 4 chords over and over. Occasionally, he'll launch into a song about lost love, a flock of escaped chickens, or a nobleman with his trousers on backward. Nobody really listens unless he starts singing about someone in the room. Then, things get interesting, or very, very dangerous. Stuff spills, someone lets out a burp that makes the rafters shudder, and somebody else takes a tumble off a bench, keeps right on talking as if it was all part of the act. Dogs are barking in the background. A goat bleats. Where did the goat even come from? And the chairs scraping across the dirt floor sound like thunder in a wooden cave. It's not peaceful, not by a long shot, but there's a rhythm to it, a crazy, beautiful, chaotic rhythm. It's alive, and you're right in the middle of it. So picture this dead silence. Not planned, mind you, just poof. 3 seconds of absolute quiet. Then, bam. A sound effect you'd never expect, and the music explodes back to life. This isn't background noise, it's the tavern's soul, man. Raw energy, a wild pulse beating in the heart of the place. It's chaotic, sure, but listen closely. There's a rhythm in the madness, a weird, kind of beautiful harmony born from all that noise. And it only gets wilder the longer you're there. It's like watching a pot boil over. First, it's just people eating and drinking, right? Then the ale starts flowing. The stew settles, and suddenly, it's a medieval Vegas. Forget velvet ropes, this is yelling, dice rolling, pure chaos. Everyone's gambling, grizzled veterans. Kids barely tall enough to see over the table, all throwing down their hard-earned coppers. No fancy rules, no suits, just a beat-up table, some coins, and the very real possibility of someone losing their shirt. And maybe their pride. The dice? They're works of art, really. Bone, wood, whatever they could find. They clatter across the table like thunder. Each roll a tiny earthquake of cheers and groans and accusations of foul play. Nobody trusts them, but everyone uses them. It's insane. And then there are the cards. If you're in the fancy part of town, these are beauties, hand-painted, worn smooth, missing a card or two. The rules? They're whatever the loudest person says they are. Highest number? Matching symbols? Making it up as you go? It's all fair game. It's like a game of poker invented by mischievous goblins. So we left off with this crazy poker game, right? Think mischievous goblins designed it, pure chaos. But it's not just cards. Oh no, the stakes are, well, let's just say eclectic. One guy's betting his entire paycheck, another is wagering a set of perfectly good, albeit slightly mud-caked, mugs. And then there's Bartholomew. Bartholomew bet his goat. His prize-winning, award-winning, fluffiest-tailed goat. Apparently, he really wanted a better goat. Someone else put his boots on the line. And then there was poor Edgar. Edgar bet his freedom for the night. Lost, of course. Can you believe it? These guys, the regulars, they're pros. They shuffle like lightning, roll the dice with this slow, deliberate grace, and wear smiles that could curdle milk. Cheating? Absolutely. It's practically mandatory. A hidden die here, a marked card there. It's all part of the thrill. A little cough at just the right moment when someone's about to get lucky. You know the drill. Win big, buy everyone a drink, or risk a very unpleasant encounter. Lose? Fake it till you make it. Smile, pretend you were just letting them win, and slowly, casually back away from the table. But the poker's just the beginning. Side games pop up like mushrooms after a rain. Arm wrestling, thumb wars, and the classic, who can drink the most ale without collapsing? The winner gets cheers, maybe a pat on the back. The loser? Well, let's just say they'll be sleeping under the table, nursing a headache that'll last until the next market day. The rules? Fuzzy at best. The rewards? Completely bonkers. But the energy? It's electric. You just get sucked in. Because here, in this medieval dive, luck isn't just a game. It's a test of your nerve, your wits, and your ability to hold onto your trousers. And as the night gets later, the air thick with ale and anticipation, something else happens. The real show begins. A bard, missing a few teeth but overflowing with confidence, stumbles into the corner. He strums a lute that sounds like a cat fighting a rusty bucket. He's about to tell a tale, a medieval story time, filled with tall tales and even taller boasts. It's the perfect ending to a perfect, well, chaotic night. So picture this, the guy, right? He throws his arms out wide, like a conductor about to unleash a symphony of sadness and awesomeness. He starts singing this epic tale a night, hopelessly in love with a mermaid, who, well, let's just say poetry and water don't mix. Nobody believes a word, but everyone's hanging on his every note. That's the magic of this place. Truth? Totally optional. Entertainment? Absolutely mandatory. Suddenly, the whole tavern explodes. It's a storytelling free-for-all. Guys who look like they've never held a lute in their lives are belting out ballads about wrestling bears. Barely believable, but who's counting? Seeing witches transform livestock, I'm picturing a very confused goat, and having royal blood flowing through there. Well, let's just say distant relatives. Each story starts the same way. You won't believe this, but... And you know what? They're right. We don't believe them, but we want to. It's amazing. These clumsy boasts morph into legendary ballads. Total mishaps become epic myths. Someone tells a joke so awful it loops right back around to hilarious. Someone else spouts poetry, probably stolen from some dusty old monk's book. But hey, who's checking? The crowd roars, they cheer, they toss bread. It's a chaotic, beautiful mess. Then, bam, maybe a wandering minstrel strolls in, a seasoned pro, their songs polished to perfection, their stories sprawling and epic, their ability to whip the crowd into a frenzy legendary. Even they, seasoned pros, know the golden rule. Never, ever let the facts get in the way of a fantastic story. In this smoky haze, with the fire dancing and the mugs clinking, storytelling isn't just a pastime. It's a life force. It's the heart and soul of this place. Well, it's everything. So it's everything. It's like the whole shebang. Think of it, a medieval pub, right? Not just any pub, but the kind where history's being written one drunken ballad at a time. You walk in, and suddenly you're part of a centuries-old story. People are swapping tales, wild, unbelievable tales, about one-legged knights and ladle-wielding heroes. It's all a big, beautiful lie, but who cares? In that smoky, dimly lit room, every yarn spinner's a legend in the making. Then the ale kicks in. It's like liquid courage, only tastier. Suddenly, everyone's a poet, a comedian, a hopeless romantic. Forget subtle glances. We're talking full-on, mead-fueled declarations of love. Imagine some guy with a gap-toothed grin leaning in, whispering sweet nothings like, "Your eyes shine brighter than a dragon's hoard." And if she doesn't appreciate the poetry, well, a bread roll to the face is a perfectly acceptable response. That's just how things work. It's a battlefield of flirtation, a chaotic dance of clumsy compliments and spilled stew. Women are used to it, let me tell you. It's a constant barrage of attention, some charming, some less so. Think juggling 3 overly enthusiastic bards, 2 arm wrestling champions showing off their biceps, and one guy trying to impress you by balancing a knife on his nose. Sometimes it works, sometimes you end up with a black eye and an empty purse. It's all part of the charm. But it's not just about the crazy flirting. The tavern's a community, a place where friendships are forged, rivalries sparked, and maybe even a lifelong drinking buddy is discovered. It's where everyone finds their place, from the barmaid to the wandering merchant, all swirling together in a tapestry of laughter, brawls, and unforgettable nights. It's raw, it's messy, it's utterly captivating. That's the magic of a medieval tavern. It's more than just a place to drink. It's a place to truly live. So yeah, that tavern, it's alive. Picture this, it's packed, right? These gorgeous women, pros, they're gliding through the crowd, reading people like a book. They know who's got the gold, who's got the game, and who's about to faceplant into their ale. It's all whispers and winks. But the drama? Oh, the drama's a wildfire. Jealous husbands, exploding over a misplaced glance, a stray hand. You wouldn't believe the fights that erupt over a bard's joke. Suddenly, tables are flying, mugs are missiles, and that poor old bench is always getting smashed again. But amidst the chaos, the most amazing things happen. You see this quiet baker's girl and this rugged stonemason sharing a laugh over a bowl of stew. 2 farmers, plastered as can be, bonding over their mutual loathing of turnips. A monk, accidentally flirting with a nun. It's wild. This crazy mix of love, lust, and pure mayhem. Because in that medieval tavern, romance is a gamble, a roll of the dice. It's all about timing, a bit of luck, and definitely not face-planting into your supper. You might win a heart, you might get a slap, but you'll never forget it. The next morning, everyone's talking. Maybe it was spilled ale, maybe someone cheated at dice, maybe a bench-hogging brawl, maybe someone insulted someone else's mom. Goat or soup, it doesn't matter. Suddenly, boom, all hell breaks loose. A chair goes airborne, a tankard shatters. It's like a movie, only way more real and way less CGI. And that's the magic, you know? It's raw, it's real. It's a story waiting to happen every single night. So, picture this, a medieval pub, right? Not some fancy place, but a real rough and tumble joint. Someone shouts, "Hold my bread!" And then, bam! This guy, he's flying over a bench like a human cannonball, totally uncontrolled. Nobody bats an eye. It's like Tuesday night. Seriously, a bar fight? It's not a surprise, it's practically on the menu. Sounds crazy, I know, but honestly, it's more slapstick than scary. Imagine, wild swings, missed punches, people tripping over each other, landing right in someone's stew, hairs flying, beards are getting yanked, shirts are ripped to shreds. The barkeep, he's like a battlefield commander, wielding a ladle in one hand and a club in the other, barking orders. And the best part? Sometimes, some poor soul just joins in, no clue why. Just saw the action and thought, yep, fists first. Others are betting, cheering, moving their drinks out of the splash zone. Weapons? Rare. These guys aren't idiots. They know pulling a knife turns a pub brawl into a legendary bar closing event. Nobody wants to lose their only source of hot food and warm beer. Eventually, someone hits the deck. Another bumps into a wall and decides, yeah, this wall is my new best friend. The whole thing fizzles out just like a candle. Poof, gone. And here's the mind-blowing part. No big deal. Suddenly, it's over. People separate. Mugs get refilled. Someone starts singing. And 10 minutes later, everybody's laughing. Even one-eyed Arnold, the guy with the bloody nose. No hard feelings. No lawsuits. Just a few bruises. Some great stories. And maybe a new nickname like Benchbreaker Bill or Stew-Soaked Steve. It's like a bizarre medieval stress relief valve. They just let it all out, then move on. Amazing, huh? Amazing, huh? So the dust settles. The last tankard's drained. The loot's silent. Except for the snoring bard. Bless his cotton socks. My belly's full of something vaguely meaty and definitely questionable. And the cider's left a pleasant fuzzy feeling. Time for bed, right? Wrong. This ain't no 5-star Inn, honey. Think rustic. Seriously rustic. Forget fluffy pillows and aromatherapy. We're talking a creaky staircase that groans like a dying dragon, leading to rooms smaller than my walk-in closet. The floors slope like a drunken sailor's walk, and the beams? Let's just say I've developed a healthy respect for headroom. And sharing? Oh, we're sharing. Big time. Shoulder to shoulder, nose to elbow with strangers. One guy sounds like a foghorn, another's muttering in some language that's probably ancient Sumerian. The beds? Let's call them mattresses. Thin, lumpy things stuffed with straw and other things. Tiny, wriggly things that medieval people charmingly called companions. You sleep fully clothed, boots and all. Dagger under the pillow? Not for comfort, darling, for survival. Blankets? Shared. Smells? Oh, the smells. If someone had garlic for dinner, you'll be dreaming of garlic vampires. And if you're a bit light in the purse, or a little too enthusiastic with the cider, forget the room. You're sleeping on a bench, maybe under a table, possibly curled up with a dog that might or might not have fleas the size of small rodents. You'll be stepped on, sneezed on, probably used as a human footrest. It's all part of the charm, right? It's a medieval tavern, after all. A truly memorable night's sleep, or lack thereof. So there's this tavern, right? never truly silent. Even when the last ale's gone and the last brawl's patched up, it's a symphony of snores, crackling logs, and, well, let's just say the acoustics are unique. But somehow you sleep. It's not exactly a five-star hotel, more like a rustic slumber party. Uncomfortable? Absolutely. Clean? Debatable. Safe? Safe enough. The fire's a grumpy old dragon guarding against the chill. The tavern keeper's a watchful owl, and the constant hum of the place is a weird kind of lullaby. You wake up with a crick in your neck, a cotton mouth drier than the Sahara, and a bruise you can't quite explain. But you slept. You slept surrounded by a crazy mix of people. Travelers with tales to tell, rogues with secrets to keep, farmers smelling of fresh earth, and fools. Well, they're just fools. No fancy royals, no hushed whispers, just the comforting chaos of snoring, straw, and a prayer your boots haven't mysteriously wandered off. Then dawn hits, sneaky as a thief. It's not quiet, not exactly, but it's deflated, like a balloon slowly losing air. You crack open an eye, and there's a boot on your chest. Seriously, someone's muttering about sheep taxes in their sleep. The bard, snoring like a lumberjack, is clutching his lute like it's his firstborn child. A chicken, just a random chicken, is pecking at stale bread. Nobody even bats an eye. The fire's dwindled to embers, leaving behind a smoky chill. People start to groan, waking up like they just fought a war waged entirely inside their own heads. It's a messy, beautiful mess, and somehow perfectly normal for this place. So there he is, one guy, just sprawled. He peeks open an eye, takes a look around, and promptly decides, nah, not today, Satan. Meanwhile, the tavern owner, this whirlwind of a woman, is already going. Mugs are crashing, straws flying everywhere like a miniature dust devil, and something's bubbling in a pot. Smells amazing, but kinda like revenge. She glances at the bodies. Yeah, there were a few casualties last night, and clangs a ladle against a mug. Think a rusty church bell announcing the apocalypse of hangovers. Breakfast? Forget it. Maybe more of that stew. It's thicker than cement now. The bread's been resurrected from the oven's fiery depths. The ale? Let's just say it's seen better days. And nobody has the energy to complain. They're too busy trying to survive. Some folks are even washing up in a rain barrel outside. Eco-friendly, I guess? I pat my pockets. 2 lousy coins and a button. Hey, it's better than nothing. My boots are still there too. One's got a bite mark, probably from a particularly aggressive rat, but they're my bite-marked boots. Small victories, people. Small victories. Then, slowly, like zombies emerging from a crypt, more people stumble in. Early birds, weary travelers, farmers dreading the day's chores. All in desperate need of liquid courage before facing whatever horrors await them. Angry livestock, tax collectors, or, shudder, neighbors. The tavern starts to rumble back to life, this sleepy beast stretching its legs. Somebody starts retelling last night's story. It's already morphed, of course. Now there were 2 bar fights, and the bar song actually summoned a ghost. Everyone nods solemnly, like it's the gospel truth. Last night was a war zone. This morning, a battlefield strewn with regret and the faint aroma of stale ale. But you know what? You survived. You smell the sweat, the wood smoke, the sticky floor beneath your feet, and you grin, because hey, you're still here, and somehow that feels pretty damn amazing in this place. So yeah, we wrapped up that scene and honestly, felt incredible. Like really incredible. But you know what's even crazier? That whole tavern scene? It wasn't just some rowdy pub brawl. It was the entire town, squeezed into one smoky room. Imagine, no internet, no TV, nothing but word of mouth. News traveled faster than a runaway cart down a cobbled street. 1 minute, you're hearing about a ship arriving from a faraway land, loaded with spices and rumors. The next, a grizzled soldier spinning tales of battles and bravery, or maybe just complaining about his lousy rations. And the bards? Oh man, those guys were the original social media influencers. Their songs changed every night, but the stories? They connected everyone. Think about it. Farmers rubbing shoulders with blacksmiths, pilgrims sharing stories with, well, let's just say some interesting characters. Suddenly, the knight and the stable boy aren't so different. They're both just tired folks looking for a warm drink and a bit of laughter. Deals were struck over spilled ale, friendships forged in the heat of a good argument, and feuds were either settled or dramatically escalated, depending on how lucky or unlucky you were with the dice. It was like a wild, chaotic cocktail party, a courtroom, a confessional, and a comedy show all rolled into one. You could find work, lose your wallet, get married, or start a brawl, all before last call. But there was something else, something deeper. It wasn't something you could buy or pray for. It was escape. A few hours of warmth, laughter, bad jokes, and even worse singing. A chance to forget, just for a little while, the bone-chilling cold, the back-breaking labor, the constant struggle to simply survive. It was a tiny pocket of joy in a world that was often brutally harsh. A reminder that even in the darkest times, human connection, a good story, and a warm fire could make all the difference. It was life. Pure, messy, beautiful life. Imagine this. A medieval tavern, all smoky and boisterous. The ale's lukewarm, the straw tickles, and the stew's got more bones than meat. But you know what? It's alive. It's a heartbeat in the chest of a world that could snatch you away in a heartbeat. Disease, war, a blizzard, anything. So that rough-hewn table, that mug of questionable beer, it's not just a drink. It's a lifeline. It's connection. It's a story waiting to be told. This may be even a warm spot by the fire, if you're lucky enough to snag it. Before Starbucks, before the trendy wine bar, there was this. Raw, real, unforgettable. Now picture this Nefertiti. The name itself whispers magic. The beautiful one has come. But even that is a mystery. Was she a high-ranking official's daughter? A princess from a faraway land, sent to seal a deal? The truth? Lost in the sands of time. But her impact, that's etched in stone. She bursts onto the scene like a supernova, brilliant, sudden, and utterly game-changing. Not just some queen perched on a throne. Oh no, she's Akhenaten's partner, his equal. Together, they're rewriting history, tearing down ancient beliefs, tossing out a whole pantheon of gods in favor of the sun. Imagine the audacity, the sheer power. They shook the very foundations of Egypt. It's a story of a woman who wasn't just beautiful, but unstoppable. A force of nature, a legend born from the shadows, blazing across the sky.
Pure untamed magnificent.
Imagine this Egypt thousands of years ago. A whirlwind of tradition, ancient gods, and powerful priests. Then, bam, Akhenaten, not your average pharaoh, shows up. He wasn't born a revolutionary, mind you. He was just Amenhotep for a prince following in a long line of, well, let's just say very traditional rulers. But this guy, he'd shake things up. He ditches the old gods, introduces a new sun god, Aten, and throws the whole religious order into chaos. Think of it like replacing Elvis with a polka band. Total culture shock. And Nefertiti, she wasn't just sitting pretty beside him. No way. She was right there, front and center, leading the charge. Not just some queen hiding behind her husband. This woman was a force of nature. She's in more artwork than Akhenaten himself. Sculptures, paintings, everywhere you looked. There she was, practically larger than life, wielding power like a boss. Picture this. A queen leading religious ceremonies, making offerings to the gods, and even depicted as a warrior, smiting enemies, something usually reserved for the guys. It was unheard of. It was like a rock star suddenly deciding to run for president. The old guard, the priests, the traditionalists, they were not happy. Their power was crumbling. Their temples were being ignored. Their whole world was being flipped upside down. They were probably muttering, "What in the name of RA is happening?" And to really drive the point home, Akhenaten moved the entire capital city to a brand new location, Akhenaten, which we call Amarna today. A clean break from the past, a fresh start. Think of it as moving to Mars to escape Earth's gravity. A massive, bold move. But Nefertiti, she was right there, through the whole thing. Her image carved into the walls, her name sung in hymns. A symbol of this crazy, beautiful, radical change. She's practically the face of the entire revolution. Yet the weirdest thing, she vanishes. Poof. No tomb, no body, nothing. It's like history itself decided to erase her. A complete mystery. It's almost more fascinating than if we had found her tomb. This complete disappearance, it only adds to her legend. It makes her story even more epic. It's like the ultimate cliffhanger. So, to truly understand Nefertiti's incredible story, you have to start with Akhenaten. His radical vision, it's what made her rise possible. It's what made her a legend. It's what makes her story pure, untamed, magnificent. So picture this guy Akhenaten, right? He's got it all, the crown, the power, the whole shebang. But then, bam, something clicks. It's like a lightning bolt, a total paradigm shift. Some whisper of the gods. Others say he lost his marbles. Whatever it was, it changed everything. He throws out the whole Egyptian pantheon. All those gods, those temples, those centuries of tradition, and declares, nope, only one God matters. The sun, Aten. Think about it. It's like ripping up the rule book of a society built on religion. Overnight, everything's flipped. Temples shut down, names erased, statues smashed to bits. Entire cities, ghost towns. It was absolute chaos, a seismic upheaval. But he didn't just preach this new belief, he enforced it. He built a brand new city, Akhenaten, a city of the sun, designed so the sun would rise perfectly between two cliffs, bathing the whole place in this amazing, almost holy light. And Nefertiti, she wasn't just his queen, some quiet figurehead. No way. She was right there beside him, totally involved, worshipping Aten with the same fire and passion. Their family, the kids too, they're all in on it, faces tilted towards the sun in these incredible reliefs. It's a completely new kind of royal portrait, unlike anything you'd ever seen before. The art itself changed. It was no longer all stiff and formal like ancient Egyptian art usually is. It became loose, expressive, almost intimate. You see the king and queen kissing, playing with their kids, praying together all under the sun. Nefertiti's everywhere, a powerful presence, almost eclipsing her husband in some of the images. It's a radical departure, a total artistic revolution. It's this incredible visual testament to their new belief, this raw emotional power. That's what makes her story pure, untamed, magnificent. So, picture this. Nefertiti wasn't just some queen sitting pretty. Historians think she was pulling the strings, maybe even ruling alongside Akhenaten. There are these ancient writings calling her Nefertfroten, like a whole new royal name she took on when she really started to run things. Was it love, smart politics, or a desperate need? We don't know exactly why Akhenaten shared power, but he did. And Nefertiti, she was the glue holding this crazy religious revolution together. These massive changes, replacing all the old gods. That's risky business. The old gods weren't happy, and the people, they were watching, waiting for things to go back to normal. By then, Nefertiti wasn't just a queen anymore. She was a legend, a total icon. Not just beautiful, but radiating this incredible power, like a goddess walking among mortals. Egypt had strong queens before, think Hatshepsut, a total powerhouse. But Nefertiti, she was different. This wasn't a power grab through war or sneaky backroom deals. She was rewriting the whole story of Egypt. Right then and there, a living goddess alongside her husband. She had 6 daughters with Akhenaten. We see them all over in these beautiful family portraits, bathed in the sun's rays. But no sons. And in a kingdom obsessed with who would inherit the throne, that's a huge deal. A mystery wrapped in 1,000 years of history. Was it just bad luck? Or something else entirely? Some whisper that Akhenaten had sons with other women. Others go further. They suggest something far more scandalous, even suggesting Nefertiti herself might have had sons with Akhenaten. It's wild speculation, of course, ranging from the mildly intriguing to the downright juicy. But it just adds to the enigma, doesn't it? The whole thing feels like a puzzle box, full of secrets and unanswered questions. And that's what makes her story pure, untamed, magnificent. So, yeah, everyone knows Nefertiti as this amazing mom, right? Those statues, they're not just pretty faces. They're snapshots, frozen moments of a woman completely in love with her kids. Their little hands reaching for her. It's intensely personal, utterly human. Think about it, in a time when pharaohs were practically gods, untouchable, this image of Nefertiti, a mother, made her relatable, almost vulnerable. It's a brilliant PR move even by today's standards. But hold on, that's only half the story. Because this woman wasn't just a loving mother. She was a total badass. See those pictures of her wearing the blue crown? That's a man's crown. She's not just wearing it. She's owning it. Leading armies, making sacrifices, all the kingly stuff solo. This wasn't some symbolic thing. This was Nefertiti actively ruling. It's like, imagine a CEO, super successful, but also a devoted parent who reads bedtime stories. That's Nefertiti. And the whispers, they say when her husband Akhenaten got sick, maybe genetics, maybe stress, who knows, she stepped up. She took the reins. But then, poof, she disappears. No big funeral, no grand farewell, nothing. Just gone. It's a mystery. A cliffhanger in the greatest historical drama ever written. Did she die? Was she overthrown? Or did she pull off the ultimate power play? Did she become something even bigger? Something so powerful they tried to erase her from history? 1 minute she's everywhere. A queen ruling beside a revolutionary. The next, silence. Like a mirage in the desert, she was there. Then she wasn't. And that's what makes her story so breathtaking. so captivating. It's a mystery that still echoes through time, a legend that refuses to be forgotten. So we've got this incredible Queen Nefertiti, right? Everywhere. For years, her face, her name, plastered all over ancient Egypt. She's practically the poster child for this whole religious revolution thing with her husband, Akhenaten. Then, poof, vanishes, like a magician's assistant, but way more mysterious. One minute she's the most famous woman in the world, the next, radio silence. Not a whisper, not a single hieroglyph. It's bizarre. It's like a giant historical Where's Waldo, but with way higher stakes. Some folks say, simple explanation, she died. Okay, childbirth was brutal back then, even for queens. And her daughter, Meketaten, also disappears around the same time. Double whammy of tragedy? Maybe. But a queen worshipped like a goddess? No grand funeral?
No monument?
No R.I.P. Nefertiti, you were awesome? Feels off. It doesn't add up. Then you get the political theories. Palace intrigue. Think Game of Thrones. But with less dragons, more sun worship. Maybe Akhenaten, feeling a little isolated, decided Nefertiti wasn't quite the right fit anymore. Maybe he found a new favorite. Or here's a real head-scratcher. This guy, Smenkhare, pops up. Who is he?
Son
Brother, a really good friend who got a major promotion. And here's the juicy bit. Some historians think Smenkhare is Nefertiti, a total makeover, a royal rebranding, a queen in disguise. And the clincher? This person, Nefertiti, ruling towards the end of Akhenaten's reign, using feminine pronouns in official documents, referring to Akhenaten as her beloved husband. It's almost like a spy novel, except the stakes are the entire history of ancient Egypt. Did she pull off the ultimate power play? Did Nefertiti orchestrate her own disappearance, only to reappear as someone else, even more powerful? It's a legend that refuses to be forgotten, and for good reason. The mystery just keeps on giving. So Nefertiti, queen, maybe even pharaoh? Imagine that, a woman ruling Egypt, a total game changer in a world ruled by men, like Hatshepsut before her, a legend whispered in the sands. But then, poof, her reign vanishes. It's like a magic trick gone wrong. Suddenly, this kid shows up to Tankadin, later Tutankhamun, a little boy king. He undoes everything his parents did, a total 180. If Nefertiti was the queen, her time at the top was super short, maybe a flash in the pan. Or maybe she ruled in the shadows, a phantom queen, just a whisper in half-finished statues and broken pottery. A jigsaw with a missing piece, the biggest piece. And just like that, Egypt's most powerful woman gone. Vanished. But her story, that was only just getting started. The dust settles, and who emerges from the haze? This tiny king, a boy barely big enough to hold a royal staff. To Tankadin, later Tutankhamun, he's the one who became a global superstar, not for his life, but for his ridiculously awesome, untouched tomb. But here's the million-dollar question, the real mystery. Who was his mom? History clams up. His dad? Almost certainly Akhenaten. But the mother? Complete blank. Some experts say Nefertiti was his stepmom, a kind of fairy godmother figure. Others? They think she might be his real mom. They point to paintings, to the timeline. It all seems to suggest this little boy was around during Nefertiti's last public appearances. It's like a whodunit, a historical puzzle box, and the mystery just keeps on giving. The clues are there, scattered like grains of sand in the desert wind. and we're still trying to put them together. So we've got Tutankhamun, right? Kid, 9 years old, suddenly king of Egypt. Imagine the pressure. Running a whole empire at that age? No way. Someone was pulling the strings, absolutely. Someone with serious political savvy, religious knowledge. The works. And that's where the mystery gets juicy. Think about it. His reign starts with a massive U-turn on his dad's religious reforms. A complete 180. That wasn't a 9-year-old's idea. That was a master strategist playing chess, not checkers. Now enter Nefertiti. The whispers say she might have been Tut's mom. If that's true, it all clicks. Suddenly, that steady hand guiding the boy king makes perfect sense. She might have been the silent force, subtly shaping his decisions, restoring the old gods, quietly rebuilding the kingdom. Then there's this amazing golden shrine they found in Tut's tomb. It shows a woman anointing the young king, and she looks remarkably like Nefertiti. Spooky, right? It's like a hidden message, a secret wink to history. If that's her, it blows the whole Nefertiti vanished theory out of the water. She wasn't gone. She was just working behind the scenes, pulling the levers of power, the ultimate puppeteer. But here's the kicker. No tomb, no confirmed mummy. Just clues, whispers, tantalizing hints. It's like a giant jigsaw puzzle with half the pieces missing. Her influence is everywhere in Tut's reign, in the religious shifts, in the subtle changes in Egyptian art and culture. But her name? Erased, scrubbed clean from history, like someone went through with a giant eraser, determined to wipe her from existence. And yet, ironically, Tutankhamun's fame, his discovery, has brought her back to life. His story is also her story, a testament to a woman who ruled, even if history tried to forget her. It's a powerful reminder that sometimes the most impactful stories are the ones whispered, the ones hidden in plain sight, waiting to be rediscovered. So, we've just talked about how sometimes the quiet stories are the most powerful, right? Think about Nefertiti, this incredible woman, at the heart of ancient Egypt's wildest period, queen, priestess, maybe even pharaoh, and poof, vanished. No fancy tomb, no big monument, nothing. Not a single "I was here" shout out to the gods. It's like she just evaporated. 100 years, Egyptologists are scratching their heads. Crazy, huh? I mean, these people loved their afterlife stuff. Every big shot got the full mummy treatment, a personalized trip to the underworld guidebook and all. So, how does someone that powerful just disappear? Theories fly around like scarabs in the desert sun. Maybe she got a quick, unceremonious burial. End of the Amarna period, things were chaotic, right? Maybe her whole radical thing made her a threat to the new rulers. They might have even actively erased her, smashed her tomb, scratched her name from history. Think of it, a vengeful regime rewriting the past in stone. Brutal but historically accurate. But then, there's this other idea, a much juicier one. What if her tomb wasn't lost? What if we just missed it? Maybe it's been hiding in plain sight this whole time. Some people think she's in the Valley of the Kings, maybe even tucked away behind Tutankhamun's tomb. Can you picture it? Think about the 2015 radar scans of Tut's tomb. They found possible hidden chambers. Could she be sleeping just inches away, lost beneath all that gold and history? It's a mind-blowing thought, isn't it? Queen, just out of reach, waiting to be found. A whisper of a story, echoing through millennia, waiting for someone to listen. So, the experts, right? The Egyptologist superstars, they were on the edge of their seats, They scanned, they poked, they prodded. Nothing conclusive. Money dried up, the dig slowed to a crawl. Nefertiti, back to the legend books, seemingly. But her silence is deafening. Think about it, we've got pictures, tons of them. Stone carvings, paintings. Her face stares out at us from every angle. And that bust, the one in Berlin, it's like she's looking right through you, knowing something we don't. Waiting, patiently. Every year, though, new teams dig. New whispers surface. Maybe they'll find a secret chamber, a hidden message scrawled on some ancient wall, a clue hidden in plain sight, like a riddle in a child's book. Maybe they'll finally crack the code. Or maybe she'll remain this ultimate enigma, an unsolved mystery, a cliffhanger in the greatest story ever told. But here's the crazy thing. Even if they never find her actual tomb, even if her bones remain undisturbed in the sands of time, we still remember her. Why? Because of that bust. That incredible, breathtaking bust in Berlin has been captivating the world since 1912. This stunning limestone sculpture, discovered by a German archaeologist, Ludwig Borchardt, if you're keeping score, in the workshop of Thutmose, the sculptor himself. Imagine stumbling upon that. Look at her, the poise, the serenity, that elegant neck, the royal blue crown. Her features are so sharp, so refined, they could be a modern supermodel. One eye's unfinished, maybe on purpose, maybe just a detail they ran out of time for. Doesn't matter. Even incomplete, she's unforgettable. She's iconic. She's Nefertiti, and the mystery of her keeps the legend alive, keeps the story going. Imagine this. Dust motes dancing in a sunbeam, a forgotten corner of a museum. Then, bam, a face. Not just any face, but that face. Nefertiti. You can't describe it, you just know it. It's like, suddenly ancient Egypt isn't just dusty history books anymore. It's breathing, alive. She's not just some queen from a textbook. She's a global icon. Think Mona Lisa, but with a whole lot more ancient mystery. But here's the twist. This incredible beauty, this symbol of power, she's caught in a tug of war. Egypt wants her back, rightfully so. She belonged there. It's like, imagine your grandma's favorite locket, suddenly stolen and locked away in a vault. That's how they feel. They see her as a daughter of their land, a queen who walked under their sun. But Germany, they're holding on to her tight. They say she's too fragile to travel, which is a convenient excuse, right? Others whisper it's about the tourists. Nefertiti's a money machine, their biggest draw. It's a crazy situation, this whole thing. But think about it. This one bust, this silent stone face, it's completely flipped the script on how we see women in ancient history. Forget the passive damsels. This woman, she's got this regal air, this fierce confidence. You can practically feel her strength, her intelligence, her secrets. She's not just pretty, she's powerful. She was a player, a decision maker, a force that shaped empires. We might never find her tomb. We'll probably never know the exact details of her life. But this bust is her immortality. Not some gilded statue, but a place in our hearts and minds. It's a story whispered across millennia. A story that lives on in that captivating gaze, in the way she holds her head. It's a story somewhere between the cold, hard stone and the beating heart of human memory. It's a story that's always evolving, always being reinterpreted, always keeping us guessing. And that, my friend, is why it keeps the story going. So we've got this woman, right? Nefertiti, ancient Egypt. Think about it. She's everywhere, in paintings, sculptures, everywhere you look, practically a walking, talking legend. But who was she, really? That's the million-dollar question, isn't it? Some see a goddess, a walking dream of beauty, practically radiating light. Others, a total political shark, pulling the strings from behind the scenes, maybe even running the show. Think Lady Macbeth, but with way better eyeliner. And then there's the romantic angle, a queen caught in a whirlwind of revolution, a tragic heroine lost to the sands of time. It's like she's a Rorschach test. Everyone projects their own ideas onto her. But here's the thing. She wasn't just some queen's wife. She wasn't just beside power. No, she was in it, of it, owning it. Look at the art. She's not shrinking in the background. She's front and center at religious ceremonies, royal events, even freakin' battles. In a world where men called the shots, she commanded attention just by being. She possessed this incredible power, not by shouting from the rooftops, but by a quiet, unwavering presence. She owned the room, you know? She mastered the visual language of her time, the spiritual language, and she used it like a weapon. And then this huge religious shift. Akhenaten, the guy who basically invented monotheism, had the vision, but Nefertiti, she was the face of it. She was the living embodiment of the sun god, the link between heaven and earth. She wasn't just serving the gods, she was the gods, at least as far as the people were concerned. She was the human face of a divine ideal. And then, poof, gone, erased. The backlash against Akhenaten's reign wiped her from history, almost as if she never existed. They tried to erase her, but her story, her image, it endures. That's what makes her so fascinating, so endlessly captivating. That's why we're still talking about her thousands of years later. And that, my friend, is why the story keeps going. So yeah, they tried to erase her, smash her statues, scratch out her name, a full-on historical hit job. Think of it like someone trying to delete a viral video. Impossible, right? Except this was 3,000 years ago. And guess what? We're still talking about her. Why? Because, my friend, some stories are too good to die. It's not just about the facts, see? Facts are boring. Facts are dry. Facts get lost in the dusty archives. Nefertiti, she's a riddle wrapped in an enigma, served with a side of breathtaking beauty. They tried to bury her story, but they only made it more fascinating. It's like trying to cover up a really juicy secret. The more you try to hide it, the more people want to know. Think about it, we've seen beautiful queens before. Plenty of them. But she's different. She's elusive. Those missing pieces of her life, they aren't gaps, they're invitations. She's daring us, whispering, "Come on, try to figure me out." And the best part? We never will. That's her genius. She's transcended history. She's become a blank canvas. Every generation paints her anew. First, she was this exotic, mysterious woman, all veiled glances and silent power. Then, bam, the feminist movement came along and suddenly she's this powerful queen, a symbol of rebellion against a world that tried to silence her. And who knows what she'll become next? What will we make her? See, that's the magic. She's not just a queen from a long-gone era. She's a reflection, a mirror to our own hopes, fears, and desires. She's a story that keeps evolving, a mystery that keeps us guessing, a legend that keeps breathing. And that, my friend, is why the story keeps going. She's not confined to a tomb. She lives in our imaginations, forever.
Imagine Nefertiti.
Not the stiff museum statue, but a real woman. A whirlwind. Think Beyoncé meets Cleopatra, with a dash of political strategist thrown in. She's everywhere, right? Fashion magazines, documentaries, even video games. She's lived 1,000 lives, not because of dusty old scrolls, but because we made her live. We've filled in the blanks, imagined her laughter, her fears, her triumphs. And that, my friend, is the ultimate immortality. Forget dusty tombs and mummified bodies. In ancient Egypt, it wasn't about preserving flesh, it was about preserving memory. Say someone's name, keep their story alive, and they live on. They're invited to the cosmic dinner party, hanging out with the gods, skipping through the afterlife. Nefertiti, she cracked the code. Her name's a global phenomenon. Her face, iconic. Everyone knows it. Her story, it's a puzzle, sure, with missing pieces, but that's precisely what makes it so captivating. It's not the gold, not the pyramids, not the royal lineage. Her true legacy, the burning question she inspires, the mystery that keeps us hooked, a life half glimpsed, half hidden, completely unforgettable. That's power, real power, not just ruling an empire, not just birthing princesses, but becoming a timeless enigma. She arrived, made her mark, and then vanished, only to reappear in our fascination, our constant search. We're still trying to figure her out, and in that endless quest, she truly never left. Think about it. What's more enduring than a legend, than a mystery that refuses to be solved? She lives on, not in stone or riches, but in our collective curiosity, our need to remember the women history tried to erase. It's a powerful thing, this enduring search. And somewhere, maybe amidst the whispering bamboo forests of China, a dragon stirs, mirroring that same timeless mystery, that same enduring power. Forever. So, forever, right? That's a big word. But picture this, imagine a mountain, not just any mountain, but one that breathes. Not with lungs and air, but with water and rice. It's a dragon. See? Not some fiery monster, but a giant, sleeping one, made of earth and stone. The scales? Thousands upon thousands of rice terraces, carved by hand, over centuries. Think about that, generations, families working together, inch by painstaking inch. No fancy machinery, just stone tools and sheer grit. It's like a living tapestry woven into the very hillside. You wouldn't believe the detail. Each terrace, perfectly level, a testament to their skill. The water flows through it all, a gentle whisper, like a lifeblood coursing through veins. Little rice plants, waving in the breeze, a sea of green against the brown earth. At dawn, the mist hangs low, like the dragon's breath, soft and magical. These weren't just farmers, they were artists, architects, magicians who transformed the impossible into reality. They didn't have flat land, so they made it. They faced a challenge, how to feed their families on this unforgiving slope, and they didn't run away. They didn't complain. They just got to work. 700 years ago, they started, armed with nothing but their own ingenuity and the will to survive. They coaxed life from the mountain, transforming hardship into beauty. Rain, once a threat, became their ally. The steep slopes, they became their larder. They taught the land to breathe, to nourish them, and in return, they gave it a majestic form, a sleeping dragon sculpted across the mountainside. And that, my friend, is a kind of forever. So, forever, right? We just talked about that incredible ending. But think about this. It wasn't just a forever built overnight. Imagine a mountain, tough as nails, completely unyielding. Now imagine people not with bulldozers or fancy tech, but with wooden shovels and sheer grit. They didn't fight the mountain. They whispered to it. They listened to the wind's song, felt the water's pulse, and understood its rhythm. They didn't try to conquer nature, they partnered with it. This wasn't about farming. It was about a secret handshake between humans and the earth. Picture it. Generations back to back, shaping the land, inch by painstaking inch. They built these terraces, these incredible curves that hug the mountainside. Like a dragon's spine, they call it. It feeds villages even today, but it's more than just food. It's a testament to slow, steady progress. It's a giant middle finger to our fast-paced, instant gratification world. Forget machines, forget shortcuts. This dragon was carved, not chased. Each rock carefully placed, each terrace a testament to patience. You walk there, and you feel it, the weight of centuries, the echo of countless hands. You see the fingerprints of human endurance, not on some sterile contract, but etched into the very fabric of the landscape. It's not an illusion. It's a legacy. Think about it. The fertile valleys were already claimed. But these people, the Zhuang and Yao, they saw something others missed. They saw potential where everyone else saw obstacles. They didn't have fancy tools. They had hearts full of hope and backs strong as steel. They carried baskets of mud and stone, their bodies aching, their spirits unbroken. They didn't just carve terraces. They carved a future, a way of life, a connection to something bigger than themselves. And that, my friend, that's what real forever looks like. Not some fleeting moment, but a legacy that whispers across centuries. Imagine a mountain so steep it seems impossible, like seriously defying gravity. But then look closer. These incredible, swirling terraces climb its slopes, a staircase to the heavens carved not by gods, but by people. Generations of them, you see, each level perfectly balanced, a delicate dance with water. Not just any water, mind you. This is the lifeblood of the mountain, flowing from spring to terrace, terrace to terrace, a silent, centuries-old symphony. Think of it like building a giant, living Jenga tower with water instead of blocks. One wrong move, one tiny miscalculation, and the whole thing could come crashing down. They didn't have fancy blueprints or laser levels. Nope, they had something far more powerful. Wisdom passed down generation to generation. Kids watching their elders, elders studying the seasons, learning the mountain's whispers, its secrets. They learned to coax the land to yield, not with force, but with respect. It's like a slow, patient conversation, a negotiation between humans and nature. The terraces aren't just pretty, they're functional, still farmed, still thriving, a testament to human ingenuity. No roaring bulldozers, no shortcuts, just the unwavering rhythm of tradition. This isn't about resisting progress. It's about proving something profound. It's about demonstrating that when you work with nature, not against it, you create something that lasts. Something that whispers across the ages. The terraces are a living story, etched into the mountainside. A story of patience, perseverance, and a deep, abiding respect for the land. They're proof that some things are better built slowly, carefully, with heart, and that these things, these works of art, can become as enduring as the mountains themselves. It's a masterpiece, not of concrete and steel, but of time, trust, and the unwavering belief that even the most challenging landscape can be made to bloom. It's a legacy, a living, breathing testament to the power of human ingenuity and the enduring strength of tradition. Imagine this, Picture a mountain, not just any mountain, but one sculpted by generations, a living testament to human ingenuity. At its peak, tiny streams, like whispered secrets, are gathered. Think of them as nature's own plumbing system, cleverly channeled into narrow ditches, carved into the earth itself. Gravity, that's the magic, the silent partner in this ancient dance. The water, it tumbles down, cascading from one level to the next, each terrace a perfectly sized bowl, a tiny rice paddy brimming with life. It's a breathtaking ballet of water, a perfectly orchestrated flow, each field getting precisely what it needs. Not a drop more, not a drop less. No fancy pumps, no complex machinery, just the simplest of tools. Stone and wood gates. These aren't just gates. They're the controls, the fine-tuning knobs of this living symphony. It's all about balance, a delicate equilibrium. Too much water in one place. Disaster. A whole terrace could drown its neighbor. Too little and you've got a drought, a silent killer. So the villagers, they become the conductors of this orchestra. Every day, they walk the mountain's spine, their eyes and ears attuned to the music of the water. A whisper of a leak, a gurgle that's just a bit too loud. They hear it all. It's less farming, more like tending a priceless instrument. One wrong note and the whole harvest is out of tune. But this isn't just about rice. It's about a mirror to the heavens. In springtime, when the terraces fill, the water's surface turns to glass. It's like the mountain itself becomes a giant mirror, reflecting the clouds, the sun, even the stars at night. People say it's surreal, otherworldly, a breathtaking blend of earth and sky. Then summer arrives, and the rice shoots up, a vibrant green sea, the reflections fading, replaced by the rustling of leaves in the breeze. Autumn brings gold, the harvest shimmering beneath the sun. And finally, winter's silence descends, the water's song replaced by the hush of snow and ice. It's a whole year in a single mountain, a story told in water, rice, and the sky above. So, a whole year in a single mountain, right? Imagine it. A story whispered on the wind, etched into the very earth. The dragon, you see, he's not some fiery beast, but something far more subtle. He's the mountain itself, sleeping through winter, dreaming in the snow. But the veins, the rice terraces, they're waiting. They're like quiet rivers, holding their breath. Time here? Forget ticking clocks. Time is the first drip of melted snow, the croaking chorus of frogs waking up, the earthy perfume of rain-soaked soil. It's a different kind of rhythm, a slower song. While the rest of the world races, these folks in Longji measure life in the gentle pulse of water, drop by drop, season by season. The dragon stirs, not with fire, but with the awakening of spring. Picture this. The snow melts high above, and these tiny streams, like shy children, start their journey down the mountain. They fill the terraces, these incredible mirrors of water, ready to receive the lifeblood of the rice. It's not a big, flashy show. It's more like a quiet, ancient secret. Farmers, their faces etched with generations of stories, rise before dawn with the mist. They're walking barefoot, their straw hats casting shadows, their backs bowed under baskets brimming with hope. The air is thick with the smell of wet earth and that crisp, clean mountain air. You know? The water in the terraces gleams like polished jade. It's breathtaking. And this isn't some job for tractors and machinery. This is a deeply personal act. Each tiny rice seedling, carefully nurtured, is planted by hand. It's a slow, deliberate dance, A line of people moving like a single organism across the emerald slopes. They wade into the cool water, their fingers gently tucking each stalk into the mud. It's not just planting rice. It's a connection to their ancestors, a ritual as old as the mountains themselves. It's a prayer whispered into the soil, a promise kept for centuries. It's a feeling, a rhythm, something almost sacred. Imagine this. Backs bent, arms aching, hands plunged into the cool, rich mud. Day after day, the same motion. It's a rhythm almost hypnotic. And the kids, they're right there splashing, mimicking, learning. Not from dusty books, oh no. They're learning by doing. Feeling the mud squish between their toes. Figuring out the perfect space between each seedling with their own eyes. It's not just work, you see. It's a passing down a sacred tradition. Think of it like this. Planting rice isn't just about food. It's a whole ceremony. They make offerings to the mountain spirits, like whispering secrets to ancient guardians. They sing songs, old songs that carry the weight of generations. In some villages, the elders bless the first seeds, a sprinkle of magic over the earth. It's a promise, you know? A promise to the land, to their ancestors, and to the children who'll inherit this land. There's no frantic rush. No one's trying to beat the clock. They work with the rhythm of the mountain, like a slow, graceful dance. It's a meditation, a connection between people and nature, a deep understanding of patience and purpose. And then, slowly, magically, tiny green shoots emerge from the water, like whispers of hope. The terraces aren't just growing rice. They're growing hope. Each seed is a prayer, a silent wish for a good harvest. Each row, a quiet rebellion against hunger, a defiance of the fast-paced world. It's a cycle, you see. It starts not with a bang, but with hands in the mud, hearts lifted to the sky. The mountain breathes. The dragon, a mythical being woven into their lives, wakes up. And the future? It's planted, one tiny seed at a time, nestled into the heart of the mountain. Look closer, and you'll see it. Pingon, Dai, Jinjen. These aren't just villages. They're living stories etched into the mountainside. Each house, each path, each balcony clings to the mountain like a cherished memory, refusing to be forgotten. It's breathtaking, truly. A testament to a way of life, a heritage that lives and breathes. Imagine these houses, perched on stilts like little birds on branches, clinging to the mountainside. Rain lashes down, but they're safe, snuggled in. Their roofs, dark and sloping, echo the curves of the rice terraces below. A perfect match, you know? From above, they look like tiny wooden boats bobbing on a sea of green. Step inside, and it's a different world. Warmth, the comforting smell of wood smoke and rice wine. It's like a hug. Families, generations, all living together, sharing meals cooked over crackling fires. It's the Zhuang and Red Yao people, unique tribes with their own languages, their own ancient stories. You can spot the Yao women a mile away. Their hair, long and black, untouched since they were girls, piled high in amazing shapes. Sometimes, they let it flow like liquid silk as they bathe in the river. It's breathtaking, like something from a fairy tale. Modernity's trying to creep up the mountain, but it's a slow climb. These folks are holding on tight to their traditions. Indigo-dyed clothes, hand-woven on creaking wooden looms. Festivals explode with the sound of reed pipes and bronze drums. Weddings are a whirlwind of ritual dances. Harvest time, pure joy bursting into song. Hospitality here isn't a business deal, it's just who they are. You're offered tea, brewed from mountain leaves, rice wine in beautifully carved gourds, and stories. Stories from elders who remember a time before electricity, stories of dragons swirling in the mist, of ancestors who shaped these very hills, of spirits watching over the rice paddies. Tourists come from all over the globe now, but the village keeps its own steady beat. It's a life untouched, largely, by the rush of the outside world. It's a testament to a heritage that's not just alive, it's thriving. It's a way of life that whispers ancient secrets on the wind. So, it's a life lived in rhythm with the earth, you know? The rice paddies, they're like giant, green stairways climbing the mountain. And they've been there for centuries, maybe millennia. Not because people fought to keep things the same, but because they learned to dance with change. Imagine it. A slow, gentle rain soaking into the earth, one layer at a time. That's how they adapt. This place, Long G, it's like stepping into a fairy tale. The mountains aren't just rocks. They're breathing, living things. Legend says a giant dragon sleeps there, its spine forming the very terraces themselves. Crazy, right? But the villagers, they believe it. They see the mist rolling in, think it's the dragon's breath, a gentle sigh across the land. And the terraces? Another story says the gods themselves gifted them. A time of terrible hunger. The ancestors pleaded for help, and the gods answered. They showed the people how to carve the hills, create these amazing steps for the rice to grow. The dragon, they say, even helped guide their hands. That's why the villagers are so reverent. No shouting in the fields, no reckless chopping of trees. It's not just respect for nature. It's a deep, spiritual connection. They whisper to the mountains, just like the wind whispers through the bamboo. These aren't just fields. They're sacred ground, a living library of stories passed down through generations. It's a history etched into the very landscape, a legacy whispered on the breeze. It's a life where the past, present, and future all intertwine, a place where the ordinary becomes extraordinary, just by listening to the ancient secrets the wind carries. So, picture this. These aren't dusty old library books, these beliefs. They're woven into the very fabric of life here. Hear them in the harvest songs. Smell them in the smoke curling up from the fields before planting. Feel them in the hush of a foggy morning. Kids grow up with these stories and not bedtime fairy tales, but the actual truth of this place. Think of it like this. Laugh at the dragon, and your crops might wither. Disrespect the spirits, and well, you might find yourself knee-deep in a flood or baking under a scorching sun. Even the water's got its own guardians. Seriously, some farmers still pour a little rice wine into the irrigation channels each spring. A tiny prayer whispered as the water flows. It's not some big theatrical show, it's just how things are done. Like tying your shoelaces. And whether you believe in dragons or not, there's something special hanging in the air. It's in the quiet, the way the clouds drift, the feeling that this place is more than just human hands shaping the land. It's a living story, carved into the very stone, etched in the flow of the water, written in every grain of rice. For generations, the mountain kept its secrets close, a hidden sanctuary, known only to those who lived and breathed its spirit. But even the most sacred places can't stay hidden forever. You know? The road arrived, then the power lines snaked their way up. Suddenly, tourists with their cameras and phones were scrambling up the hills, right alongside the farmers. These ancient terraces, worn smooth by time, faced a brand new challenge. How to survive in a world that's changed so fast. First, fear crept in. People worried the mountain would be carved up and sold off, that concrete would replace the wooden houses, that their traditions would become just a tourist act, a hollow shell of what they truly are. So Long J didn't just survive, They thrived. They didn't erase their history. They embraced it. Imagine this. Tourists aren't just checking into hotels. They're becoming honorary family members. They're eating meals cooked with love, rice steamed in bamboo, the kind of stuff that makes your taste buds sing. Sleeping in these incredible stilt houses, waking up to roosters crowing a real-life fairy tale. It's not some staged performance. It's the genuine article. And the heart of it all, the farming. Generations continue to work those rice terraces, their hands calloused, their movements practiced. Kids go to school, but they're also learning the ancient rhythms of the land, helping at dusk. Tourism brings money, sure, but the rice is life itself. They're two sides of the same coin, you see? Essential. Some kids moved to the city, chasing lights, but many came back. There's a pull to those terraces, something beyond memory. It's the whisper of water flowing, the stars mirrored in the paddies, the mountains whispering lessons of patience. Their festivals, they've gotten bigger, bolder. Okay, there are microphones now, signs in Mandarin and English, but the heart of it, the ancient rituals, the offerings, the elders leading the songs, it's all still there. The dragon's backbone didn't fight change. It danced with it. It's not about being stuck in the past. It's about breathing with the present, adapting, growing, but always staying true to its soul. The terraces endure not because they're static, but because they're alive, ever-changing, yet unbreakable. So, the terraces, they're not just some frozen-in-time thing, right? They're alive. Think of them as a dragon, a giant, breathing, shimmering dragon made of rice paddies. And this dragon is always changing. One day it's a mirror reflecting the heavens, a still, silver expanse preparing for the planting. You walk across it and feel like you're floating on clouds. Literally, it's unbelievable the way the water mirrors the sky. It's heaven, people say, and they're not wrong. Then boom, summer hits. It explodes into this vibrant, emerald green. Picture it. Thousands upon thousands of rice plants, all shooting up, a lush, velvet carpet spilling down the mountainside. It's a breathtaking sight, like giant, green ribbons dancing in the breeze. And the sounds, the frogs croaking, the farmers humming, their hats like little bobbing boats on a sea of jade. It's pure life, bustling, vibrant, full of energy. And finally, autumn arrives, painting the whole scene in gold. The rice is ripe, ready for harvest. The terraces blaze with sunlight, a glorious, fiery spectacle. The air hums with the energy of the harvest, the rhythm of drums echoing through the villages, families laughing, sharing stories, singing songs. It's a celebration, a moment of pure joy and abundance. See, it's not about sticking to the same old thing. It's about this incredible, constant cycle of renewal, of change, of life bursting forth again and again. It's a progress, yes, but a gentle, beautiful kind of progress that respects the past while embracing the future. It's a testament to how tradition and modernity can dance together, creating something truly magical. That's the secret of Long G. It's not static. It's a living, breathing masterpiece that renews itself year after year. And that's why it endures. So that's why it endures. It's not just rice paddies, It's a whole story etched into the mountain. Imagine this. A dragon, not fire-breathing, but a water dragon, curled around the hillside. The scales? Those are the rice terraces, each one a tiny, perfect emerald jewel. And the seasons? They're the dragon's breath. Spring, a gentle mist waking everything up. Summer, the sun baking the rice, plumping it up like tiny golden suns. Autumn, a harvest so rich it spills over like a golden waterfall. Then winter, stillness. A blanket of snow, a hush over the land. The dragon sleeps, dreaming of the next cycle. It's not just about the work, it's about the rhythm. Think of it like a perfectly choreographed dance. The farmers, the seasons, the land, all moving in perfect harmony. There's a beauty in that quiet, patient work. A beauty that's not flashy, but deep and profound. Photographers come, snapping away, trying to capture the moment, but they'll never truly get it. Because it's not about a single perfect image, it's about the ongoing story. The terraces are alive, breathing, changing with the sun and the rain and the snow. They're a living testament to something bigger. These weren't the easiest fields to work. Flat land? Plenty of it down in the valley. But these folks, the ancestors of long, they chose differently. They chose to work with the mountain, not against it. They carved their lives into the hillside, generation after generation, passing down this incredible legacy. It's a promise, a vow whispered from one hand to the next, a promise to the land, to the seasons, to the future. It's more than just farming. It's a love story, a testament to resilience, a masterpiece sculpted not in stone, but in rice and sweat and faith. And that's what makes it so enduring, so breathtaking, so utterly captivating. It's a story that whispers, not roars. So, picture this. These incredible rice terraces, clinging to the mountainside like a giant emerald staircase. Generations, centuries even, poured their hearts and their sweat into carving those slopes. It wasn't some massive, noisy construction project. It was a whisper, a slow, steady dance between human hands and the earth itself. They listened to the land, felt the rhythm of the water, understood the secrets held in every single stone. It wasn't just about growing rice. It was about weaving a tapestry of life, a legacy passed down through generations. Imagine the stories whispered across those fields, each grain a tiny piece of history. Think about the patience, the quiet determination needed to build something so magnificent, so enduring. There's no app for this, no quick fix, no instant gratification. You can't rush harmony. It's not a machine-made thing. It's handcrafted, soul-crafted, etched into every stone by calloused hands and unwavering faith. And get this, they're not static. They're breathing, evolving. They adapt to the weather, to the needs of the people, to the changing world. They're flexible, not rigid. Like a willow tree bending in the wind, they endure. Even with all the noise and technology of the modern world crashing up the mountain, these terraces stand firm. They're rooted in something deeper than soil. They're rooted in the stories, the rituals, the simple act of planting a seed and trusting in nature's rhythm. Walking among them is like witnessing a pact, a sacred agreement between humans and the earth. A contract written in sweat and sunlight, renewed with each harvest. It's a powerful reminder that progress isn't always about speed, that greatness isn't always a booming roar. Sometimes, it's a gentle murmur, the quiet strength of a stream carving its way through stone. That's why these terraces resonate with so many farmers, travelers, dreamers. They remind us of something we're losing sight of, that the most lasting things aren't built with brute force, but with a gentle rhythm, deep humility, and the patient passage of time. They're a testament to the magic of slow, deliberate creation. A masterpiece whispered, not shouted. Imagine this, you're standing at the foot of the Giza pyramids, right? The sun's blasting, the tourists are swarming, everyone's gawking at those colossal stones. But what if I told you the real story isn't up there, in plain sight? It's down below, hidden, whispering secrets only the Nile knows. Think about it, we're all obsessed with the surface, right? The flashy stuff, the obvious stuff. But sometimes the most incredible treasures are buried, literally. Just a hop, skip, and a jump from those famous pyramids. Near this sleepy little village, there's a legend. A story passed down through generations of fishermen. Hushed tones and sideways glances. They talk about something different, something enormous, lurking beneath the murky water of the Nile. Not just rocks, mind you. This is something shaped. Imagine a giant sphinx, half swallowed by the river, like some forgotten god taking a mud bath. Only this sphinx isn't made of pristine, polished stone. It's weathered, eroded, almost shy. During the dry season, when the Nile shrinks, glimpses of it appear. Smooth curves, strange grooves, even what some swear is a perfectly carved detail, worn smooth by centuries of water, but undeniably crafted. No tour groups here, no fancy signs. Just reeds, still water, and a feeling like the very ground remembers something immense. Sonar scans have revealed incredible things. Geometric patterns down there, blocks arranged with purpose. It's like an underwater city, a submerged secret. And here's the kicker. Some believe this underwater enigma is older than the pyramids themselves. Not by a few years, not by a few decades. We're talking millennia. Older. Much older. If that's true, everything we think we know about ancient Egypt, well, it's tossed right out the window. It's a whole new history book, rewritten from the bottom up. A masterpiece whispered, not shouted. It's waiting to be discovered. And that, my friend, is far more thrilling than any pyramid. So we've got this incredible story, right? The Sphinx. We all know the one, that majestic lion with a human head, guarding the pyramids. But what if I told you there's another one? A secret Sphinx, underwater. Imagine this. The textbooks say the Sphinx was built around 2500 BC. But picture a time before that, a time when the Sahara Desert was actually green, a lush paradise, rivers flowing everywhere. This underwater Sphinx, it might be from that era, a relic of a world lost to time, swallowed by the rising waters. Now, some folks, the experts, they say it's just rocks. A trick of the light, some weird erosion. Just a rock formation, they scoff. But look closer. The lines, the curves, it's too perfect. It lines up with the stars. For crying out loud. It's like a cosmic puzzle box, begging to be solved. And the weirdest part? Nobody's really looked. Official archaeology. Radio silence. They're ignoring it, pretending it doesn't exist. Is it nothing? Maybe. Is it everything? Absolutely possible. It could rewrite everything we think we know about ancient Egypt, about the history of the planet itself. Think about it, a monument, possibly thousands of years older than the one we all know, sitting silently beneath the waves, guarding its secrets. It's like a silent, underwater witness to history. This whole thing really blew up in the 80s. Suddenly, divers and researchers started popping up with these crazy stories. Blurry pictures, a giant lion thing half buried in the mud. At first, people dismissed it, but the seed was planted. Doubt crept in. What if they were right? One guy, a real maverick, claimed he saw it during a brief drought. Not just some random rock, but a sculpture. Legs, a face, the whole deal. It wasn't just erosion. It had geometry, symmetry, the hallmarks of deliberate design. It's a mystery wrapped in an enigma, buried under silt and the weight of forgotten history. And it's waiting for someone brave enough to listen. So, picture this, we've got the pyramids, right? Everyone agrees on that. Ancient Egypt, 2500 BC, Pharaoh Khafre, textbook stuff. But then, bam, someone whispers about another sphinx. Not just another sphinx, mind you, but one that's older, way older, and chillingly half hidden under the Nile. Suddenly, the whole story of Egypt, hell, the whole story of humanity, gets a massive rewrite. Imagine the uproar. The professors, the experts, they're like, hold on a minute, show me the carbon dating, the official digs, peer-reviewed papers. They're convinced it's just a rock formation, a trick of the light, a really convincing case of nature imitating art. They say the Nile's been sculpting the landscape for millennia, and sometimes rocks just happen to look suspiciously like giant cat faces. But the pictures, the sonar, those things are hard to ignore. The shapes are too perfect, too intentional. It's like someone took a giant chisel to the riverbed. And that's when the wild theories start popping up. Atlantis, pre-dynastic Egyptians, lost civilizations wiped out by a mega flood. Suddenly, we're talking about technologies beyond our understanding, a history rewritten, a past we never even knew existed. The internet explodes, documentaries are made, books are written. But the official world, stone-faced silence. No one's touching it. No big archaeological digs, no museum exhibits, nothing. This thing, this potential game changer, sits there, half buried, a silent challenge, a mystery shrouded in mud and myth, waiting for someone brave enough to unearth the truth. It's a story as old as time itself, or maybe even older. Imagine this, we think we know Egypt. Pyramids, pharaohs, hieroglyphs, the whole shebang. But what if that's just the tip of the iceberg? What if the story we've been told is incomplete? Think about the Sphinx. Majestic, right? But some scientists' brilliant minds really have been looking at it differently. They're not just looking at the polished stone, they're looking at the wear and tear. And what they're seeing is mind-blowing. The damage isn't just from wind and sand, like we always assumed. It looks like water damage. Massive, sustained rainfall, the kind that hasn't been seen in that part of the world for thousands of years. Thousands! That means the Sphinx might be far, far older than we ever thought. And that's just the beginning. Because now, picture this. Underwater, near the Sphinx, hidden beneath the mud and silt, something else might be lurking. Satellite images, radar scans, they're hinting at something huge, something rectangular, something deliberate. It's like a ghost of a structure, a forgotten monument, waiting to be discovered. This isn't some fringe theory. We're talking about a possible civilization, a whole lost chapter in Egyptian history, existing before the pharaohs, before the pyramids, before anything we've ever seen. Imagine a lush, green Sahara, a wilder, more unpredictable Nile, a time when the world was drastically different, a time when entire civilizations could rise and fall, leaving behind barely a whisper. It's like finding a hidden diary in an ancient tomb, revealing secrets the world forgot. It's a mystery that could rewrite everything we know about the dawn of civilization. The possibility is electrifying. It's a story that could change everything. And it all starts with a question. What if everything we thought we knew was wrong? Imagine this, giant stones, older than anything we learned in school, perfectly placed. We think of pyramids, Stonehenge, amazing feats of engineering, right? But what if those weren't the first? What if there was a whole civilization way before the Egyptians, way before anyone even thought to write things down, who built stuff that makes those look like child's play? Think Göbekli Tepe in Turkey. 9,600 years BC. Hunter-gatherers, people who were still chasing after animals for dinner, built this mind-blowing place. Giant carved stones, animals leaping off them, older than Stonehenge by miles. It's like finding a dinosaur fossil in your backyard. Completely throws everything we know out the window. Now, picture this, underwater, near Abu Rash in Egypt. There's something called the underwater sphinx. Think about that for a second. A sphinx hidden beneath the waves. If it's as old as some people think, it blows Göbekli Tepe out of the water. Literally. This isn't just about finding some old ruins. This is about a whole lost chapter of human history, maybe even a whole era wiped from our textbooks. Imagine a world where the desert was lush and green, rivers flowed differently, and a sophisticated society thrived where we now see only sand. The evidence? It's not just speculation. Look at the erosion patterns around the underwater sphinx. Smooth, rounded grooves, not the kind you get from wind or sand, but from water, lots and lots of water, the kind you only find in a totally different climate. They're seeing the same thing on the Great Sphinx itself, those deep vertical grooves around the base, not wind, but water. So what we thought we knew about history, about who built what and when, might be completely wrong. These stones are whispering secrets, secrets etched not in papyrus, but in the very fabric of the earth itself. And those secrets, they're telling us a story far older, far more incredible than we ever imagined. A story of a lost world, a forgotten age, a civilization that might have even taught the Egyptians a thing or two. Imagine this, a deluge, a prehistoric monsoon, the likes of which we can barely fathom. Picture sheets of water, relentless, carving the landscape for millennia. Now fast forward. We're at this spot, maybe a sphinx, maybe something even stranger, hiding under the Nile. Only during the driest times, when the river shrinks, do hints peek out a shoulder, a paw, something undeniably lion-like. It's not just a hunch either. The whole thing sits on a foundation that's too perfect, too flat, too engineered. The ground itself is wild. It's all clay, shifting, bubbling with underground water. The ancient water table went crazy, apparently flooding and receding in these massive, violent waves. And the stone is worn, sure, but not randomly. The erosion follows the shape of the thing like someone meticulously sculpted it, then drowned it. Think of a masterpiece slowly being erased, one raindrop at a time. Some of the mud around it, it's older than the pyramids, from a time when Egypt was lush and green, a land of massive floods. This thing, if it's real, could have stood for ages before the Nile swallowed it whole. Lost to the shifting sands, to forgotten stories, to the whims of a river that wanders like a restless giant. But skeptics, they say it's just a trick of the light, a natural formation. They say we're seeing what we want to see. But water doesn't build things. Water doesn't sculpt perfect lines, doesn't carve those precise pores, doesn't lay foundations with laser-like precision. And this thing, it echoes a sphinx we know about just miles away. It's too similar to be coincidence. So, the big question, if the Nile buried this, what else is down there? How much of history is still hiding in the mud, in the silt under the waves? And if this underwater sphinx is real, ancient, waiting to be found, why haven't we dug it up yet? What secrets is the Nile guarding? It's a mystery as deep and wide as the river itself. So, there it is, this incredible mystery. A secret sleeping beneath the mud, ignored. Why? Think of it like this. Imagine you have a priceless antique hidden in your attic. You're not just going to let anyone rummage through, are you? Egypt's history is their attic, and they're fiercely protective of it. They have rules, procedures, you name it, all to keep things safe, to preserve their heritage. They want proof, solid, undeniable proof, before they even consider messing with their past. This underwater Sphinx thing is a wild card. Nobody's gotten official permission to dig it up. Plenty of people have looked, adventurers, professors, even some, let's say, enthusiastic amateur historians. But without the government's blessing, their findings are just whispers, rumors, not the kind of evidence that'll convince anyone to rewrite the history books. And then there's the Nile itself, a stubborn, unpredictable beast. It's not a calm lake. It's a raging river, constantly changing, flooding, eroding, shifting the landscape. Trying to excavate something underwater there, it's like trying to build a sandcastle during a hurricane. You'd need massive pumps, years of planning, environmental impact studies. It's a logistical nightmare of epic proportions. And the cost? Forget about it. But it's not just about the logistics, you see. Imagine the headlines if the Sphinx is real. A complete rewrite of ancient Egyptian history. It would shake things up, maybe even challenge national pride. It's a huge risk, politically speaking. The Egyptian government is understandably cautious. They prefer to stick with the stories they already know, the ones that celebrate their glorious past, not ones that might throw it into disarray. They're playing it safe, and who can blame them? It's a massive gamble, and the stakes are incredibly high. So the mystery remains, hidden beneath the river's secrets, waiting for someone brave enough, or maybe just lucky enough, to unlock its truth. Imagine the Sphinx, that colossal Catman thing in Egypt. Everyone's seen pictures. But what if I told you there might be another one? A secret twin hidden right under our noses, literally. Under the mud, under the Nile. Whispers, you see. Rumors swirling around dusty academic papers and forgotten journals. Some folks in tweed jackets and elbow patches, serious history buffs, the kind who'd know. They've got a hunch. They've seen something odd. Something that doesn't quite fit the official story. No official records, no big government announcements, just hints, like a cryptic message in a bottle tossed from a long-lost ship. Think about it, we're obsessed with history, right? Museums, documentaries, the whole shebang. But what if the biggest historical find is sitting there, ignored, covered in silt, lost to the world? A secret the river holds close. This isn't just some dusty statue, folks. This is a Sphinx, a symbol. Strength and wisdom, power and knowledge, all rolled into one magnificent, enigmatic creature. The Giza Sphinx? It's a legend, thousands of years old, staring at the sunrise, guarding those pharaoh tombs, a silent witness to millennia. But what if there was another? A secret sibling, older, maybe even more mysterious? The idea is mind-blowing, right? Two sphinxes, twin guardians. Imagine the implications. The history books would need a rewrite. Every theory, every assumption tossed out the window. No ancient texts mention this. Nothing in the official record. That's what makes it so tantalizing. It's a secret waiting to be discovered. A puzzle begging to be solved. It's a story as old as time itself, and yet completely new. A hidden chapter in the grand book of history, waiting for someone brave enough to turn the page. So picture this ancient Egypt. We think we know the story, right? Pyramids, pharaohs, the whole shebang. But what if I told you there's a secret chapter? A whole untold story lurking beneath the surface. Literally. Imagine finding not just another Sphinx, but the Sphinx. Not a copy, not an imitation, the original. Think of it like finding the first ever iPhone prototype, tucked away in some forgotten attic. This thing predates everything we thought we knew. It's not just older than the pyramids. It's ancient beyond our wildest imaginings. The Greeks and Romans hinted at this kind of thing, this idea of balanced guardians watching over sacred places. Think twin towers, but way older, way more mysterious. The Egyptians were obsessed with symmetry, with pairs. Twin statues, twin obelisks. Why not twin sphinxes? This underwater one. Maybe it's the missing piece. Maybe it's the original twin. This isn't just some fancy statue. It's a time capsule. The lion itself? It wasn't random. In ancient Egypt, lions were sunrise and sunset, the cycle of life and death, the eternal turning of the sun. A sphinx facing east is a living monument to that cycle. This thing isn't just carved stone. It's frozen magic. Now imagine this prehistoric masterpiece, perfectly aligned, patiently guarding some forgotten secret, maybe even before writing was even invented. It would rewrite the whole Egyptian story, wouldn't it? It wouldn't be about the pharaohs anymore. It would be about something far, far older. Something that predates even their myths, their gods. This isn't just about history. It's about prehistory. And the fact that it's underwater? Perfect, really. A guardian of lost worlds, resting silently beneath the waves, waiting to be discovered. It's like it's been holding its breath, waiting for us to understand. This isn't just a discovery. It's a revelation. It's a crack in the foundation of everything we thought we knew. It's a door opening onto a world we never even dreamt existed. And the whispers, they're getting louder. This isn't just about an underwater statue anymore. It's about rewriting the book of human history itself. So we've got this underwater statue, right? It's not just any statue. This thing could flip the entire history book on its head. Imagine the established Egyptologists. These are the guys in tweed jackets, meticulously measuring every grain of sand, following the rules. They're playing by the book, and that book is thick with centuries of accepted wisdom. They need proof, the whole 9 yards. Carbon dating, inscriptions, the works. And they're right to be cautious. Egypt's full of rocks that look like things. It's easy to get carried away. You can't just slap a lost civilization label on every oddly shaped boulder. The past is incredibly delicate. One wrong step, one sensationalist headline, and poof, it's gone. But then there's this other group. Think of them as the rebels, the mavericks. Scientists, engineers, people who know their stuff, but they're looking at things with a different lens. They're not ignoring the rules, but they're saying, hold on a minute, what if? They've got satellite images showing perfect symmetry, scans revealing hidden structures buried under the mud, erosion patterns that look too deliberate. It's not just about the statue itself. It's about the clues surrounding it, the whispers in the data. And here's where it gets really interesting. There's a powerful reason for the silence, a reason that goes way beyond academic squabbling. Think about the tourism industry. Egypt makes a killing off its ancient wonders. A new, massive discovery, especially one that throws the accepted timeline into chaos that could shake things up. It's not that they're necessarily covering something up, but the idea of rewriting history is scary. It's like a domino effect. One tiny change and suddenly everything else is called into question. Now, this underwater sphinx, it's everywhere. Docs, podcasts, online forums. It's become a symbol of the unknown, a challenge to the established order. Some people are screaming for a full-scale dig. Others are warning about wild speculation. It's a massive debate, a clash of perspectives. And the truth is down there, buried beneath layers of speculation, just like the Sphinx itself. It's a messy, complicated story, but that's what makes it so fascinating. So it's messy, right? This whole thing. But that's the magic, isn't it? This isn't just some stuffy debate for professors. This is about the heart, you know? How we deal with the past. Are we just robots sticking to the facts, the proven stuff? Or are we allowed to chase whispers? Follow those tantalizing clues that dance just out of reach. This underwater sphinx thing, it's the ultimate test. Think of it. Not just a rock, but a giant question mark staring us in the face. It's a challenge to our curiosity. And as long as it's hidden, this mystery down there, everyone's just yelling past each other, arguing over nothing or potentially everything. Imagine it. A lion's face, peering out of the mud, silent for centuries. Haunting, isn't it? This thing, this possible sphinx, might not even be real. But the feeling it creates, that's real. It's like a deep itch you can't scratch. A yearning to uncover not just a statue, but a memory. Because this isn't just about archaeology. It's about us. It's about that primal human ache for what's lost. We're surrounded by ghosts, you know? Fallen cities, dead languages, whole civilizations swallowed by the earth. We dig into the past not just for answers, but to find ourselves. To ask, who were we really? How far back does our story go? What have we, in our frantic rush to the future, forgotten? If the Sphinx is real, if it's older than anything we've written down, it's not just a statue. It's a voice from a chapter we never even knew existed. Imagine a world where the stars meant something completely different, where people felt closer to the earth, where myths were, well, real. We can only guess, can't we? But that guessing, that yearning to connect with something bigger, older than ourselves, that's what makes this so powerful. That's the real story, buried beneath the mud. Maybe, but echoing in our hearts. So we've got this thing, right? This underwater mystery, this Sphinx. Some folks think it's from way, way back, older than anything we can even imagine. Like before the pyramids were even a twinkle in some pharaoh's eye. A whole lost civilization, wiped out by some mega disaster. Crazy, I know. Sounds like a sci-fi flick. But hey, the truth is often stranger than fiction. But even if it's not some ancient super society, the feeling it gives you, that's the real story. Think about it. A giant stone thing, maybe sculpted, maybe just a natural rock formation that looks like something else entirely, hidden under the waves for who knows how long. Imagine the stories it could tell if only it could talk. It's like a silent scream from the past, a whisper from a time before history. It makes you realize how short our time here really is, you know? We build these massive empires, these incredible monuments, and we think they'll last forever. But a river, a little bit of time, the relentless march of nature, poof, gone. Just like that. It's humbling, isn't it? It's a reminder that everything is temporary, except maybe the earth itself. But that's not the whole story. This mystery, it's also a spark of hope, a reminder that there's still so much we don't know. We live in this age of instant gratification, Google answers, everything at our fingertips. But this Sphinx? It's a big, fat question mark in the face of all that certainty. It's a mystery that even our fancy drones and supercomputers can't quite crack. And that's what makes it so powerful. It makes us wonder. It makes us question what else is out there, hidden beneath the surface of things, waiting to be discovered. Maybe under the sand in the Sahara, maybe deep in the Amazon, maybe even in our own backyards. We think we've mapped the world, but we haven't even scratched the surface. This Sphinx is proof of that. It's a silent testament to the endless possibilities, the untold stories, the mysteries yet to be revealed. Whether it's a man-made marvel or a trick of nature, it's a reminder to keep searching, to keep wondering, to keep listening to the whispers of the earth. Because the truth is, there are far more secrets buried than we'll ever find. But that's the beauty of it, right? The endless quest. So we've got this incredible story, right? This underwater Sphinx. Imagine it, completely submerged, lost beneath the Nile, like a forgotten secret whispered only to the river's current. Tons of other stuff down there too, swallowed by the silt, buried by time, lost stories, lost lives, gone. But this Sphinx, this one's different. It's sitting there, in plain sight, practically staring us in the face, yet we ignore it. Not because it's unimportant, oh no, it's hugely important, but because the questions it asks are, well, they're uncomfortable. They're the kind of questions that make us squirm, the ones we'd rather not face. Think of it like this: we're all so busy building our perfect little worlds, our neat little narratives, that anything that messes with those narratives, we just kind of skip over it. We pretend it's not there. This Sphinx, though, it's a giant, silent middle finger to all that neatness. It's a challenge. It's a what if, screaming across millennia. And the crazy thing is, it might never be excavated. Politics, funding cuts, ancient traditions, they're like these impenetrable walls, stronger than any tomb, keeping this incredible piece of history hidden. But that doesn't make it irrelevant. No way. Its mystery, its very obscurity, turns it into this amazing mirror. A mirror reflecting not just what's buried, but what we choose to bury, the stories we tell ourselves, the parts of history we conveniently forget. History isn't some dusty old textbook, you know? It's not finished. It's a massive jigsaw puzzle, spread out across continents, under oceans, buried in deserts. And sometimes we just need a little shift, a new way of thinking, a groundbreaking discovery, a brave question, to shake things up and find the next piece. Maybe one day, the Nile will retreat, and boom, there it is, the Sphinx, magnificent, complete. Maybe some crazy new technology will reveal its secrets. Or maybe it will always remain a mystery, a legend passed down through generations, a secret shared between the stones and the river. But whether it's real or just a myth, the Sphinx already wins. It sparks the imagination. In a world that loves to be sure of everything, to cling to certainty, this Sphinx offers something else. It offers wonder. It reminds us that sometimes the most ancient things aren't just buried in sand. They're buried in our minds, in our unwillingness to ask the hard questions, to challenge the narratives we've built. And that, my friend, is a powerful thing indeed. So we've just cracked open this incredible idea, right? This power, this thing that moves us. It's like, imagine an ancient map tucked away in your attic, covered in dust. You can barely make out the faded lines, the cryptic symbols. But you know deep down that it holds the key to something amazing. Maybe a lost city, a forgotten treasure, a secret family history. That's what this feeling is like. It's that yearning, that pull, that whispers of untold stories hidden beneath the surface of everyday life. It's in the way we crave adventure, the way we get lost in old photographs, the way we feel a strange connection to a place we've never even been. It's that gut feeling that the past isn't just a dusty old book on a shelf. It's alive. It's breathing, waiting to be rediscovered. Think about it, the ocean floor, a vast, unexplored world teeming with mysteries, or the Sahara Desert, holding secrets beneath its shifting sands for millennia. Those aren't just places, they're living libraries, whispering stories waiting for someone to listen. And that urge to listen, that's the power we're talking about. That's the incredible thing, the irresistible force that drives us to explore, to remember, to believe. Because somewhere, somehow, the past is still alive, and it's waiting for us to find it.